Chamberlain and Josh Padley just weighing in now. Liam Tully's joined me. How are we, Liam? Live weigh-in, watch-along, first ever.
All good, mate. Excited for our first live weigh-in, watch-along. Excited to see these boys in Trafalgar Square. 6,000 people have turned out. You can tell it's a big fight, and it's getting close now, isn't it?
100%, mate. Chamberlain just under the £140 limit then.
Only £2 in it between the two of them. They're both bang inside the limit, which is good to see.
God, he's tall, isn't he, Chamberlain?
Yeah, similar.
Pushed him. Bit of early action in the Riyadh season Wembley edition weigh-ins.
Here we go. But we talk about
Hamza Shiraz.
Talking about Chamberlain being tall, we talk about Hamza Shiraz getting himself down to 160. Mark Chamberlain getting to 140 is also a question, isn't it? How he manages to do that.
Yeah. He's a big dude, man. There's a good bit of edge on this fight, though.
Yeah, well, it started yesterday. We said last night, didn't we? Padley put it on Chamberlain at the press conference, perhaps more than he was expecting. And now we're in the position where, look, we've just seen the push and shove. And I think maybe he's under Chamberlain's skin a bit. Padley knows he's got nothing to lose. This is where he puts himself in a big state. I will say this, having Frank Warren in the middle, though, if that's the plan for all these fights, it'll be interesting to see how many times he's getting pushed out of the way.
Uncle Frank's not going to do too much.
Should be looking after the older boys. Come on, put Eddie in there at least, make it fair. So, yeah, for anyone who's just joining in, so this is a ceremonial weigh-in process. So our understanding is every fight on this card, bar the main event, weighed in at around 2 o'clock this afternoon, which will be a normal weigh-in time. And so they're just coming out now, having their weights announced, getting on the scales in front of the fans. But the main event will be weighing in live at this fight. That's the only fight that hasn't weighed in yet, unless you've heard anything different, mate.
No, I've heard nothing different to that, mate. No, I wonder if we'll see if that Chamberlain-Padley weigh-in's anything to go by, maybe we will see some shenanigans. I think Kakachi and Warrington's been very cordial so far during fight week. Boatsi and Hutchison's going to be very interesting. Hamza and Denny, you won't get too much.
Kelly and Ish is going to be good next up.
Kelly and Ish will be good, yeah, most definitely.
I think the most you'll get
at 4 o'clock.
Mate, we've said speaking. So for anyone who's not seen, the first fight tomorrow is starting at 4:10 with the main event going at 10 o'clock. Anyone wondering why that's 6 fights over 7 hours? It's because they need at least 40 minutes for the Liam Gallagher concert. So you're looking at 50 minutes between the chief support finishing and the main event's ring walking, I would imagine, tomorrow night. Take out the Liam Gallagher concert. They'd start this at 5:30, and personally, that would be perfect spacing, perfect time, and it's not too late at night. The Wembley curfew means that the event needs to be out the ring. All the interviews need to be tied up by 11 o'clock, otherwise they're in danger of being fined. Which, okay, you could say with Uncle Turkey, that's not going to be an issue, but we finally found what his money can't make a difference for, and that's getting the Wembley curfew extended.
Yeah, definitely. I can't see them wanting to put the relationship with Wembley in danger or anything like that. So, yeah, they'll be done and dusted by 11 o'clock tomorrow, which is fantastic news because some of them Saudi cards have been dragging out way too long. Wilder Zhang was like 1:30 or something.
It was ridiculous. Like you just said, mate, Eddie more so than Frank in recent years has a long-standing relationship with Wembley. Obviously, Frank done Fury and White last year. This is Eddie's 3rd or 4th show at Wembley. So they're not going to want to jeopardise that relationship because even when the Saudi money's gone, they're going to be planning on doing shows at Wembley. This is just obviously an opportunity to put on a fight card we'll never get again, especially for a stadium fight in the UK. You think about UK stadium fight cards, you get a Stacks main event, an average chief support, and then everything else you can pretty much predict. That's definitely not the case tomorrow night, is it? Stacks from top to bottom.
Yeah, 100%. When you've got decent, like maybe not 50-50, but decent fights, that are 60-40 even, you could say, probably from 4-5 o'clock in the evening, then you've got a very good card coming. Here comes Ishmael Davis.
Making his way out now.
Look at the size of his back.
He's a big.
It's looking phenomenal shape.
Mate, like Sonny Edwards said on Tuesday at the Grand Arrivals, Ish was already weight cutting to get down to 154. The fact this is 160 means that last little bit of weight that every fighter hates to take off, he's not necessarily had to do. He's probably the happiest fighter that's had to do a weight cut this week for sure, because he's
Definitely.
at a weight
yeah.
comfortable for him.
Fought at 160 before as well to start his career, so it's not an issue for him.
No, I ultimately think 160 is where he feels most comfortable, but 154 is where he had the opportunities before, obviously, this came along. You think 7 days ago, we were hit. Ishmael Davis was being offered this fight. He was preparing for October the 26th to be on the Castle Pro Grey card in Manchester. He gets the call at a week's notice, and now he's preparing to.
Full, doesn't he? Looks very full on the scale here, Ish. He's just weighing in now. Look, he's in phenomenal shape. 159.3 for Ish Davis. He looks in phenomenal shape, Liam.
He's not had to cut too much, has he? So, look at him. He's probably
he's got the eye.
Yeah.
To be fair, PBK looks in very good nick as well, to be fair to him.
There's one thing you can say about Pretty Boy. He's always in good nick, even when he's out of camp. You see the stuff he's doing in his life. He puts on his socials. He's always in phenomenal shape, isn't he? You can't take that away from Josh.
159.1 for Josh Pretty Boy Kelly. Looking forward to this one. Let's have a look at this face-off. Yes, the boys, Jay's Fight Talk's joined us. Big up Jay's Fight Talk on the way back on the A1. Currently couldn't be with us tonight. Subscribe to Jay's Fight Talk YouTube channel. Can't wait to be on his new show tomorrow. Big up, Jay.
Sorry, mate. As we're waiting for this face-off, echo what you just said about Jay. Check that out tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see who refuels to be heavier. I reckon that'll be Ish Davis. Josh, remember, he's coming up to 160. He's a 147, 154 pound fighter, so he's not going to refuel that highly, Josh Kelly, I don't think. Whereas Ish Davis, you reckon he could get closer to 170, don't you?
100%. He definitely looks the bigger man. But both men in great shape. Yeah, not too much spice in the face-off. Jay's Fight Talk built like Ishmael Davis is the latest rumor.
This is pre-Watershed, so we can't say too much on that comment. I think every fighter on this card is going to look in good nick. And Josh Warrington done an interview on Sky earlier after they'd done the weigh-ins at the Hilton Hotel opposite Wembley, and he said, "Look, everyone's in phenomenal shape." He said he's actually the motivation of fighting at Wembley has made this one of the easiest weight cuts he's had. Okay, he's moved up his weight as well, but everyone's got that extra spring in their step. 96,000 people, Wembley Stadium, a huge opportunity. We may never see another Riyadh season card in the UK again. That's something that's not been spoken about this week. There's nothing to say Turkey's going to do this again. We know he bounce around different territories, so you got to capitalise on this tomorrow night, haven't you?
1,000,000%. Yeah, I think Turkey caved into a bit of pressure with this card from it's only in Saudi, the UK fans are missing out, this, that, and the other. And he caved in and gave us two great cards in back-to-back months with Terence Bud Crawford and now Joshua Dubois.
Yeah, I think there is an element of that to it, mate. Because you think when he first spoke about wanting to see the winner of Hrgovic Dubois fighting AJ, it was mentioned as being just the Riyadh season card. It was only by the time we got to the 5v5 cards, there was small rumblings that we were going to see a show in America and a show in the UK this year, but they were only small, and I don't think anyone paid a lot of attention to them at the start. I certainly didn't envisage us seeing cards taking place outside of the Kingdom Arena. I'm not sure about yourself.
No, definitely not. Liam, your picture's frozen on the screen. Can you see it on your end?
Yeah, I can. I may have to rejoin, mate. Give me 2 seconds.
Rejoin, mate. Yeah, all good. Jay said it should be at least 15 pounds heavier. Yeah, definitely, mate. It looks, people need to remember that Josh Kelly wasn't long ago, he was fighting David Ammunition at 147, And then obviously he had the run at 154 where he beat Troy, amongst others. Here's Liam back.
Back in the game?
There you go, mate. You're moving.
Happy days. Yeah, just catching up on Jay's comment. I do think that's probably, you got to think Josh is probably already at his limit, getting close to 160 from where he started, from where he's fought, whereas Ish is already coming down to make 154, never mind 160. So yeah, it'll be a big size advantage, and the type of fight Ish needs to have tomorrow night, roughing on the inside, that size advantage could play a factor, especially early on if Josh isn't prepared for it.
Yeah, definitely. It surprised me how big and in good nick that Ish looked there. To be honest with you, he looked tremendous. He looked like he's had a full camp. Right,
Yeah,
next fight now
absolutely.
it's going to be Josh Warrington and Anthony Kakachi. This should be fireworks.
I think you talk about Ishmael Davis having a full camp. The rumours were he was meant to go on the original Castrol program date, so we probably only had a couple of weeks off before he went back into camp for the new date at the end of next month. So he probably has been in camp since around the end of June, you'd imagine, wouldn't you? So he's in phenomenal shape. All right, so here we go. The IBO featherweight title on the line in this fight. No IBF belt on the line.
Do you know what? It's funny now because I think they've rejigged the order of the card since the IBF isn't on the line anymore. Because I think this one would have been higher up, Liam.
I think the whole order of the card's been rejigged with Liam Smith dropping out as well. I don't think we would have seen Josh Kelly and Liam Smith as low down as we are.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there. I think you are right.
I do think Kakachi and Warrington is probably in and around the place he was going to be in, if I'm being honest, because you're not going to put Buatsi and Hutchinson and Shiraz and Denny too low down the card. So I reckon this fight is around about where you expect it to be on the card for me. Possibly swap places with the Josh Kelly fight if we're looking at it in terms of appeal and weight classes as well. We know Turkey favours the bigger weight classes, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Jay said about the size difference in this one.
Yeah,
catchy. Let's have a look. Josh Warrington looks pretty full again. To be honest with you, let's see how he looks. He looks good at super feather. In fairness, on the scales, giving it
as good as he looks, mate. I didn't realise the height difference until yesterday when they faced off after the press conference. There is a substantial height, and you'd imagine reach advantage. As Josh gives his traditional raw, 129.5, he's coming out. Gives his traditional raw to his fans.
Fair play to him.
Looks good. He looks in good nick. And that was one of the things we wanted to see, wasn't it? We said earlier in the week, didn't we, when we were talking with Jay as well? How Josh looks on the scales will tell you where he's at for this fight.
Kakachi looking really good as well. Gives it a bit of a roar himself. So both men hyped up. See if we get any energy in the face-off. Warrington with his usual leads balaclava. I do like it. There's a little bit of edge on this one. Very close to each other, nose to nose almost. Warrington laughing.
This is a Josh Warrington face-off. He does this with all his opponents. Doesn't matter how cordial the build-up's been. When it comes to this face-off, he'll always stick it on.
Yeah.
Look,
Anto's giving it him, saying he's going to test that chin.
Yeah, look, no, it's not a fight night, but this looks like a Josh Warrington that's here. He's still got something to prove. He's not just coming for a big payday.
Well, they're talking. I didn't expect this, to be honest with you, in this face-off. This is good. Anto
looks drained behind his eyes, though. That camera shot we just had.
Yeah, Anto looks like he's had a tough cut. Warrington looks great at 130, to be honest. But yeah, they're ready.
Josh was eating in his interview with Sky at about 3 o'clock this afternoon after he weighed in. He looked fantastic then. And that was 10 minutes after he weighed in. This looks like it's been a tougher weight cut on Anto than Josh.
A lot of energy in that one. A lot of energy.
Yeah, this will be a good fight. This could be fight of the night. These two boys will fight.
Eddie loving that. Yeah, definitely. Frank and Eddie are all over that.
You know what? You know who else gets to come out to the stage now? Mr. Shalom. Let's see some more interactions with Eddie and Ben after how tense.
Yeah. Did you see that chat that they had on the stage before Denny and Shiraz weighed in? It looked like they were arguing almost.
Hey, I was just about to ask you about that. So obviously the interview with IFL on Tuesday ended with Eddie walking away just because Ben said he had to speak to Adam's team rather than commit him straight away to the Dalton Smith fight. So Eddie just said, right, I'm done. See you later. And it seemed to be a continuation of that conversation. They weren't talking about the fight that was on the stage at that time, which was Hamza and Tyler Denny, were they?
No.
Jay, it's going back. Jay in the chat saying he's changing his mind on this one now.
Yeah, I know. Josh looked good there. He looked great.
This is my upset of the night. So I'm sticking with Josh, and I feel more confident having seen him on the scales. He looks hungry for this. Anton look, a weight cut's a weight cut, baby. He's very sunken, very drained behind the eyes. Bearing in mind they weighed in 3 hours ago, to still be looking like that shows just how tough it was for him. You got to think these fighters have refueled already. They're not going to be exactly bang on the weight they were this afternoon. And Anton looked like he was in a bit of trouble still, like he's had to work really hard overnight to get that weight off.
He's much, much bigger than Josh, isn't he, naturally?
Yeah. Well, remember, Josh is coming up from where he's fought his entire career. We know Anton probably is coming down to where he naturally is. So, yeah, it's a fascinating fight. It's going to be dirty. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be fought on the inside. And I'm looking forward to this one even more now.
Like Kakachi said yesterday, he's not going to have to go looking for Josh Warrington, is he? He's going to be right there.
Looking for each other. They may as well put an X in the middle of the canvas. Yeah. They may as well put an X in the middle of the canvas, and those two lads are just going to be there from the first bell, aren't they?
I think so. Kakachi giving an interview with Ariel Helwani currently.
Let's hope Ariel Helwani doesn't slip up swearing like he done a few times yesterday.
Yeah, Jay said Anto looked a lot better on the official scales. I think I agree with that. Yeah.
So yeah, mate, I tend to agree. I tend to agree with that as well, which is strange. It's not often you say a fight and it's probably at least began his refueling process looking worse than when he actually officially weighed in, is it?
Definitely be at least a little bit more hydrated than he was earlier.
So just look at his face and his eyes again. Those eyes are very sunken into him, aren't they?
His cheekbones are all on show.
Is that just me, Sam? Am I reading too much into it? Or is that's
no, his cheekbones are showing and everything. Yeah, he definitely looks drawn. I can't remember what he looked like for the Cordina fight, to be honest with you.
He looked better than this, mate. I would go out and on the record and say he looked better than he does tonight. The interesting thing is these boys are about 24 hours away from fighting with the timings of the fights tomorrow night. So, there's not, it'd be interesting to see 24 hours further down the line how Kakachi's looking with the pacing and timings for tomorrow night, with the first fight being in at 10 past 4.
Okay, so they've interjected for a little break to the zone.
Yep.
So how many fights is that down to? 3 out of 6?
3 down, 3 left.
So we got Boatsi Hutchison next, is it?
Yeah, Boatsi Hutchinson. So the two, so Ben Shalom's two. Denny Shiraz.
Yeah, Denny Shiraz in the big one.
Just a small fight for the main event, mate. Nothing to get too excited about, is it?
Yeah, just two little guys in the main event. I think they're highlighting the Warrington Kakachi. That was it was a great little weigh-in and face-off situation that both men really fired up. That's got me excited for that one now. Really has.
Yeah, and look, Josh brings the energy for weigh-ins his entire career, doesn't he? He's always there. He's always up for it. But he actually doesn't look as weight drained as he looks in previous outings. He's done this weight well. He probably feels good. He probably feels like the extra weight's going to help him out in the fight. He did say he felt his engine was going in towards the end of his time down at 125, 126.
You've seen it a million times, haven't you, mate? People leave it too late to move up, and probably a case of that for Josh Warrington as well, to be honest with you.
I think so, mate. And I think we're still in that climate where a lot of fighters moving up in weight late is to do with COVID and the pandemic. The opportunities were so limited that were there for them that they couldn't actually do what they wanted to do with their careers. They had to take the fights to stay active and relevant, didn't they? And Josh is definitely a fighter that probably was impacted by the pandemic in terms of what his movements were, wasn't he?
Oh, most definitely.
I'd say we're coming towards the end.
Obviously, his career. Yeah, his career started to unravel, really, didn't it, during the pandemic with Mauricio Lara chinning him.
Yeah, he had that nightmare, didn't he? The first Wembley Arena bubble fight of 2021 was a lot more explosive than I think anyone was.
Not looked the same for me since then, but I can't remember if it was you or Jay said it. I believe he's got one more big performance left in him.
I said that. I said that on Wednesday night. Yeah. I believe he's got something left in him, and he's shown all the signs there. You can sometimes tell if a fight is cashing out and looking for a paycheck on the scales, can't you? And that you can't say that about Josh Warrington, can you? Right, Steve, here we go. Thomas Triber's back on the mic. We're getting ready for Willie Hutchinson and Joshua Boatsi. I think this is going to be an interesting face-off.
This is going to be good.
This will be an interesting one.
Willie Hutchinson coming out first then.
No Watchalong on the stage currently. Looks like he's going to come out with Joshua Boatsi as opposed to spending too much time in the company of Eddie and Frank.
Yeah.
Boatsi's out
reluctantly. Boatsi out first with Watchalong.
It's like the little brother. There's Watchalong in a hoodie and sunglasses, looking like all younger brother around the older siblings. A Riyadh season hoodie, no less. Turkey's giving him.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah, Watchalong rocking the Riyadh season hoodie, loving life.
Boatsi looks like it. Yeah, Boatsi's just going to stay in his t-shirt by the looks of it on the scales, unless he's been told now to take it off. The same demeanor that we've seen. The same demeanor that we've seen from Joshua all week is still, very, laid back, very relaxed, perhaps slightly off. Fired up Willie Hutchinson here, giving it to the crowd as he comes out onto the stage.
Yeah.
Expect nothing from Willie, though, do you?
Absolutely not. No. There could be some shenanigans at this face-off, I feel.
Did you just see that? That was interesting. Frank Warren having to have a word with Boatsi. I'm not sure what that was about, but he's just had to put his arm around Boatsi and have a word with him there, Frank Warren. Not sure what that was about, but that looks a bit more than saying a hello. There was a proper arm and conversation going on there for a good 10 seconds.
74.7 for Joshua Boatsi.
That's 3 pounds.
Willie looks a bit fleshier.
Yeah. Well, Willie's coming up in weight, as we've spoken about before. Willie's made the move up to 175, hasn't he?
Yeah. Still looks in good shape, though. Yeah, just pretty much bang on 175, 174.9. Now let's see what this face-off brings.
Boatsi won't engage, mate. Boatsi won't engage too much in this. Security.
Yeah, Willie's right up in his face talking. Yeah. Oh no, Boatsi's nodding. Oh yeah.
We're not going to see too much. Get our security guard out of the way at the front, blocking the shot as well. We get there needs to be. Yeah.
Boatsi bailed on it quite quickly.
It's my time, my city is what I've just lip read from him now. I'm not sure if anyone was sound on and confirm that for us. JB is
very
locked in again.
Disengage.
Yeah, he's got no interest in it, has he? He hasn't all week, and he's not going to change that today before the fight.
Business-like approach from Joshua Boatsi. Willie Hutchinson didn't seem to mind that too much. I think he's kind of just ready now to fight. I think the talking's been done. They've sold the fight. I think everyone's just ready to go now.
Yeah, he sold the fight, and I think also he's not getting the nibbles back from Boatsi that maybe he was expecting, so he's not going to expend any more energy, is he, when he's not had anything back from him all week, really?
Yeah, definitely. It's done now. It's ready. It's go time. Watchalong will probably stay out, I'd imagine.
Yeah, no need to go in. He didn't really draw attention to himself coming out with Boatsi either. He kind of just appeared on the side of the stage. So he's staying very low profile in this interview. He's not on top of it, is he? Yeah, typical.
We'll see what the next two bring. You're not going to get too much energy out of Tyler Denny and Hamza Shiraz. I'm very interested to see the main event face off. I can imagine not too much will happen from it, but
If anything's
It's
going to
gonna
come
be
from it, it's going to be pushed from Dubois, isn't it? Joshua will only react to Daniel as opposed to probably looking to.
If I'm Daniel
escalate.
Dubois, I'm coming out and I'm sticking it right on Joshua in the face-off. I'm going nose to nose with him.
Frank's been in his ear. Frank's told him what he wants to see him do, and we know Daniel, when he's told to do something, especially at these presses for Riyadh season, he seems to be able to deliver, doesn't he?
He won't do it. But if I'm Dubois, I'm trying to rile up Joshua. You know, he's done it once before.
Yeah,
he's not going to beat AJ in a boxing match, but he may beat him in a fight.
His best chance is to go on.
I was going to say, saying that Dubois' jab is a good weapon.
Dubois' jab, particularly under Don Charles, has improved no end. He was starting to come through with Shane McGuigan, but the improvement in the 3 fights so far with Don, you can't not talk up enough, can you?
Yeah, no, definitely good to see Don Charles is in the corner tomorrow night. I doubt he'll be there for the weigh-in.
He said he's staying away till fight night. The first time he'll see Daniel since the back end of last week will be at the fighters' hotel just before they make their way.
Cam's done though, isn't it? It's not really a big deal, I don't think.
Yeah. If put it this way, if you as a head trainer can't trust the other people in the corner to carry out what needs doing in fight week, then they're not the people you really want to be working fighters.
He's ticking over. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. No weight cut for a heavyweight. They just need to whatever their target weight is, but they're not having to get down to anything. So there's less pressure than other weight classes, isn't there?
100%.
Yeah, it looked like the Buatsi interview was a typical Buatsi interview. Thanks to God, I know. The business will come. My hair and my beard will be shaved, and we'll see you tomorrow. That looks to be the typical Buatsi approach there.
We've got Thomas Trivers back on now. I'd imagine it's going to be. Well, it's Tyler Denny and Hamza Shiraz now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Buffer will be out for the big one. You know that they won't hold Buffer back.
Yeah, Michael Buffer will be. You're right. So Frank, Eddie, and Ben sharing the stage again for this one.
It is, although we may see Eddie take a backward step like he did for this one yesterday. As there's no matchroom fighter in this fight, so we may see him take a slight backward step.
Yeah,
Hamza is just a cool guy, isn't he? Nothing phases him. He's cool and calm.
Hamza's just exudes world champion vibes, doesn't he?
Yeah, we said it during the week. He knows what's coming next, and that's the Carlos Adames fight, probably on the February Riyadh season card. So he knows what the plan is.
Yeah, they can get Adames for that.
Yeah, you just needs to execute.
Easy work for Hamza as well.
Yeah, Carlos Adames is Carlos is probably the weakest of the 4 world champions, up at 160, isn't he? You know, possibly put Lara on that list.
I think it's Lara, Janibek, and Adames. I think there's only 3.
There is. So yeah, Lara's. I put my mistake. Janibek's still got the 2 belts. He hasn't vacated yet, has he?
Here's Shiraz now.
I'm unsure if we see Janibek fight again at 160. He shouldn't do after missing weight last time. 159.6 for Hamza.
159.6. Here comes Tyler.
Another occasion getting himself down to 160. Hamza.
Yeah, the last man to walk before Joshua and Dubois, Tyler Denny. What a story.
What 12 months? What 12 months?
Yeah. Looks business-like. There's Tyler.
159.9. Looks solid in a way.
Phenomenal straight.
Don't think we're going to get a lot from this face-off. I think this will probably be the most cordial one we've seen so far.
Nah. Hamza's a respectful guy.
Yeah, so it's Tyler as well. Tyler's just, he's the kid in the chocolate factory.
Both very respectful guys.
Hamza doing a bit of shadow boxing there whilst he waits for Tyler. He's as relaxed as can be. Intense stare from Tyler here. I mean, he's staring up. Hamza is.
Tyler's. been some decent energy from the two fights that were very respectful before tonight. Warrington Kakachi and Tyler Denny's all business there. Absolute Boxing's joined us. Big up, Jack. How we doing, mate?
Good to see you, Jack.
Looking forward
You all
to the
good?
fight tomorrow.
Hamza Shiraz throwing some signed gloves out to the crowd. He threw a couple of T-shirts when he came out initially, so he's just that last glove is just ricocheted off of about 10 people's heads as it made its way back.
It's loving life, Hamza.
Yeah,
Up there.
Riyadh season ambassador. He knows.
Ambassador.
Yeah, he knows
Yeah.
he's being looked after. How many Riyadh season ambassadors so far? 8 of them, isn't there? How many's been announced? 7 or 8?
I don't know. Jared Anderson's one, isn't he?
Jared Anderson's one. Terence Crawford is one. Hamza Shiraz. There's a few. There's a couple of Brits. Hamza Shiraz was 1 or 2 Brits, I think.
So Jack said he's flying in for the fight tomorrow evening, mate. Unbelievable. Have a great time, Jack. What a card, mate. Let us know how you get on afterwards.
Yeah, jealous of you there, mate. I'm not sure where I'm going to be, where or if I'll be watching this card from. Might be relying on the boys texting me updates to this rate. Still not got a clue, mate. She's not budging.
Is it a promoter's obligation to wear sunglasses on the stage? The only 3 people in. I mean, it looks pretty dark from what I can see. But Shalom, Warren, and Hearn all in sunglasses. No one else on the stage has them on.
They've all been given a present by Turkey this week, haven't they? And it's the Sunnies.
Yeah, Turkey's got on the Ray-Bans.
We've all got hair like Uncle Turkey. What we see him wearing at ringside, we'll see the same tomorrow night. Oh, dear. We shouldn't joke. So, once this interview from Hamza Shiraz is finished, let's say we'll probably have about 5 minutes of feel, and then it'll be the big boys.
Just 2 fighters to go. The main event of the evening, IBF Heavyweight Championship of the World. Daniel Dubois defending against Anthony Joshua. I watched the Addy and Ariel show earlier, and they're having a debate about should it be Joshua Dubois or Dubois Joshua. Addy said it should be Dubois Joshua, and Ariel said it should be Joshua Dubois. So it's the A side versus the champion is the debate.
It's no debate for me. It has annoyed me over the years when Canelo's done it when he's not been champion. Dubois is the champion. It should be Joshua.
Crawford Madrimov was the same last month.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you understand it's the A side versus the champion, but no, you're a champion. You should be the one that's on the left-hand side of the poster.
Tom man, Jack, let us know, mate. Yeah, no, so you're on the you think the champion should be first?
Yeah, it's a Dubois Joshua. If you're look, if you go through the years of boxing, I don't think we ever saw back in the 70s Muhammad Ali put first on a poster just because of everything he's done in his career before.
It's clearly situational, isn't it? Because Hamza Shiraz is an A side over Tyler Denny, and it's Denny versus Shiraz.
Well, that's Riyadh season ambassador favoritism, isn't it? There, we know what that one is. Personally, it's
no, but like Hamza's on the B. He's on the B side of it. That's what I'm saying. It's Tyler Denny versus Hamza Shiraz.
Yeah, well, I think we only normally see it for main events, don't we? We've seen Canelo do it 4 times. Like you say, Terence Crawford done it last month. It's definitely only something we see for main events. I don't know if the argument would be that the fight has more marketing appeal when you have the more well-known fighter, I suppose.
It is now, but you hear negotiations breaking down all the time of like, oh, I want to walk second. Conor Ben and Eubank, that was all in the negotiations and stuff. It was like breaking down over Eubank wanting to walk second and all this,
Mate, I'll go back even further than that. Scott Quigg and Kyle Franson, they literally had an argument over the big dressing room. They locked the big dressing room, didn't they, that night at Manchester Arena?
They flipped a coin, did they not, to see who?
They did for the ring walks because they both had belts, but in the end, the main big dressing room was locked and neither fighter got it. Because literally until the morning of the fight.
Insane.
Which
Jackson champion should always be first. It should be set in stone. Yeah, if you've got a belt, it's disrespectful to the champion, in my opinion.
Completely agree with that. But going back to that Quigg and Franson situation, that would have been Barry McGuigan with his mind games as he's always.
To be honest with you, there was a lot of there's a lot of venom in that. Carl Frampton and that Frampton and Hearn had just fell out, and he signed with he went to Cyclone Promotions, hadn't he, at the time, Barry McGuigan.
Well, he was on a co-pro, so Cyclones were allowing Frampton to fight on Matchroom shows, and then obviously that went. He moved over to Box Nation.
Yes.
You had Joe Gallagher and Shane McGuigan, and Gallagher just didn't respect McGuigan at all, did he? He just seems to think you're too young, you're a kid, what are you doing in this situation? Dismissing him all the way through. Yeah, that was a spicy build-up for that one. Unfortunately, a fight that didn't deliver in the same way, but that was definitely a spicy build-up. Michael Buff is on the mic. We know what time it is.
Yeah, there we go. Joshua Dubois weighing starting.
Jay, if you're still with us, mate, Buff has had his spray tan today. He's looking a bit more alive than he was yesterday at the press conference. a bit more of the Buff colour.
Buff has been on the beds today.
He's just stood there for a good hour with a couple of people spraying him either side, I reckon, mate.
Buff is shot to bits. They should have Jimmy Lennon's the man for me.
Mate, I agree in this situation. Jimmy Lennon should be doing the main events. Watching back the Canelo card last week, how good does Jimmy Lennon sound?
I love Jimmy Lennon. Jack said McGuigan is pain in the ass, can't stand him. Everyone assumes I like him because he's Irish. Good fighting out, great person. Yeah, there's been a lot of stories, hasn't there, about what's gone on with that.
Yeah, there has been. Look, but what he does with his fighters, he does have, and the stable he's got in the moment, he's guiding them well. So if you just go purely off his fighters and what he's doing with them at the moment, fantastic trainer.
They consistently churn them out, don't they? You can't hold that against them. They always constantly churn out top talent.
Exactly. But I will say, to have 2 or 3, 4, 5 fighters that are leaving because of their money or different reasons, there is issues there. But let's just focus purely on him as a trainer. But no,
he's an unbelievable trainer, Shane McGuigan. Unbelievable.
Going back to the Buff the Jimmy Lennon debate, I mean, we saw it last week. I'm not sure about you watching that card back. Jimmy Lennon's energy was the same, calling Stephen Fulton into the ring as he was for the main. He's
my favourite MC by far, Jimmy Lennon. It's not even close. Love him.
I love watching back the Queensbury cards in the UK from the early noughties. Where he was over for David Hay-Ruiz. He done Hassan and Zoo. Just having Jimmy Lennon in
constantly
the UK.
Everywhere. He's over for. He did a new way against Dehenny recently.
Yeah, he has a deal. I've read someone before. He has a deal in Japan, so he's over there for all the fights in Japan.
Yeah. We've got MT who's joined us. Big up MT. I think AJ outboxes Dubois, similar to Ruiz too, just to secure the belt. Yeah, do you know what? That's actually not a bad shout. If it turns into a boxing match, Dubois get beat. So he has to. Here comes Daniel Dubois on the stage now. He has to. It's in AJ's hands. He has to force the issue, Dubois, if it's going to become a boxing match, because AJ could do that like he did against Ruiz, like he did against Joseph Parker. Dubois, does he have that in the locker? Probably not, from what we've seen so far.
Mate, absolutely agree with the comment as well. If Daniel Dubois wants this fight to give him any sort of chance, he needs to be on the front foot from the off. He needs to gain the respect of AJ, and he needs to show that he's a live dog in the fight. Otherwise, he's going to be chasing the fight from early, and that's when the openings will appear, and that's when AJ will get the finish.
Yeah.
For me, so yeah, absolutely.
Will Daniel Dubois go for it early doors? That's my question, because if he does, he's going to risk getting knocked out. But for me, it's one of his best paths to victory as well.
If Don Charles and the team,
I hope he doesn't freeze. I really do.
Yeah. But for me, if Don Charles and the team had drummed it into him that he can go for it from the off, that it's his best chance of winning, then yes, he does. But if he's been told that the game plan is something different, then he's not going to deter from that, is he?
No, definitely not. But he showed that he can box to a game plan and listen now. But here's Dubois on the scales now.
200 and what is he going to be?
As expected, in tremendous shape. Dubois
248.6. So that's consistent with what we saw Dubois weighing against Usyk, against Miller, against Hrgovic. He's always around the 248 mark, isn't he, Daniel Dubois?
Yeah, looks very good for it as well. Here comes AJ.
AJ's looking all business-like, isn't he? He's not going to engage too much here in any face-off. 252.7. So heavier than he's been for his last 2 outings, but a similar weight to what we saw for the first fight with Alexander Usyk for the former 2-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. Undisputed.
Here we go then. Here we go. Face-off incoming for Joshua Dubois.
See what we get. I don't think there's going to be much in this one. Maybe an intense stare.
Wouldn't see it. I would love it though. I'd love it for Dubois to stick it right on him here.
Oh, mate, I would absolutely love it. Stick it on him. A bit of chaos on the stage, security everywhere. But I don't think we're going to get that.
Yeah, no, Dubois looks chilled. I can't see anything coming.
AJ diffusing it a bit further as well, taking his time, putting a T-shirt on.
Yeah,
Stepping up to
a little look at Dubois.
Yeah. Frank Warren absolutely dwarfed in the middle of these two.
Yeah. Oh, that's 2 juggernauts on that stage right there.
This is a firefight, people. If this goes past 6 rounds, I will be absolutely flabbergasted. This is going to be a
fight. This is good. No emotion. No. Dubois locking eyes with him until the last possible moment.
Licking his lips. He's ready. Dubois ready. I think
he's Frank cheerleader in the background.
Bless him. Or anyone around Dubois now, all it's about is making sure he stays in the moment. He doesn't overthink it. He doesn't freeze. If he can keep him going, he seems to be in today, then it'll be a hell of a fight. Josh looks as you'd expect him to look. He looks businesslike. He looks ready to do a job. This seems for him like it's just another notch on the belt in terms of where he
at the office for AJ.
We've not heard the IBF belt really spoken about by him, like we said on yesterday's show, have we? So he knows it's not the end goal. He knows it doesn't really count for as much as it has done the 2 previous times. He'll pick it up and it will be his leverage for a unification fight, but it's not the be all and end all for him.
The winner's got the golden ticket, haven't they? In this one, that's the stage. You can forget about the IBF belt for a minute. The winner's got the golden ticket for the Fury Usyk fight. Really, if Usyk retires and AJ wins, then AJ and Fury's there, regardless of if Fury wins or loses. You know, the golden ticket is for a huge payday is in this fight. If Dubois wins, it just puts a complete spanner in the works for everything.
Exactly that. Whoever wins this has a golden ticket for either an undisputed fight, for potentially picking up more belts in vacant title fights, because as we said this week, I would say Usyk retires, win, lose, or draw. I think if Fury loses, he retires. So, you know, there could be a chance that there's vacant belts on the line, left, right, and centre come the end of come the next
both
year.
Men both ringside tomorrow.
They will indeed. After anyone that's going along to the box park has got their photo up in the VIP with a pair of them, they'll be ringside.
Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Then Liam, we're going to be back a little bit later for the Callum Walsh live watch along, and then even later than that for Jaime Munguia. So we've got plenty to go on. So we may as well grab some rest while it's there. Big up MT, Absolute Boxing, and of course Jay's Fight Talk for joining us for the live weigh-in watch along. We'll be live around about, you said, was it around about 10:30, Liam? We're expecting Callum Walsh.
Sounds like 10:30 for Callum Walsh. That's what Dana was saying yesterday.
Yeah, okay, and that's been picked up by TNT, has it?
Yeah, picked up by TNT. Frank's waived the Queensbury exclusive on TNT to allow this fight to be shown.
Perfect. And also, Jaime Munguia is a top-ranked fight, so that's on Sky Sports, isn't it?
Yes, mate.
Yeah.
Coverage starts from 2 o'clock. It looks like it's only 3 fights before that, so probably around 3:30, I would say, for the main event.
3:30 a.m. UK time for that. Joshua on the mic then with Ariel Hawani as we close up. Thanks for joining us, those that have, and we'll see you in a couple of hours for Munguia versus Callum Walsh.